So we're going to talk about how basically if you take a shitty shot off your butt, if they take a shitty shot off their butt and you sprawl your atypical sprawl for wrestling, they can use that angle to help themselves get up, right? They could take their shot, and as your hips sprawl away from them, they can upgrade to an underhook, obviously risking front head, but again, they're going to have to take a big risk to get up at this point, right? So as they use the risk of front head, they potentially climb back to the feet, or they're happy to be in a 4-point front headlock where they feel a bit more comfortable. And again, guys that do that are more comfortable in those positions, right? MMA fighters, wrestlers spend a lot more time dealing with that than they do trying to get up off their back here. So it's an area where they have potentially a greater advantage than your typical jiu-jitsu guy. So I changed the angle on my sprawl here, and I'm going to hit them with the hips front on, hoping that as they're trying to get up, instead of me sprawling away from them where they can upgrade grips, they're getting rushed shoulders behind hips. So I'm not sure if this is effective or it just makes them feel a bit sexually uncomfortable with the motion of my hips here. But again, another thing to worry about is we don't want to necessarily do this if they are fatigued. Because what do people do when they're fatigued? They breathe through their mouth, right? So let's see what it looks like for Tyler. So just to give you perspective, we'll face this way, right? If Tyler takes an ugly shot here, right, and I start to sprawl my hips away, Tyler can use the underhook to start climbing up. Obviously, if you took a shot in a standing position and I sprawl, I do want to sprawl my hips back here, right? But if his intention isn't to take me down, it's to secure an underhook, he can use that sprawl to get the underhook and potentially get up or end up in a front head. So if I'm rushing someone, could be MMA fighter, could be wrestler, could be jiu-jitsu guy, and they take a shot here, I actually want to hit my hips forward, right? To keep them down. So again, just compare, we'll do this very slow, right? Tyler's on his butt here. If he takes a shot and I start sprawling backwards, at this point I can switch to an underhook. I'll come back. If Tyler switches to an underhook the second he feels the sprawl. So come back to that. So if I start sprawling back and he uses that underhook to start getting up. It's very, very effective, very frustrating, because again, he's not shooting to get on top per se, he's shooting to get back to his feet. So if my hips come away from him towards his head, the underhook helps him get up. But if we do it real slow again, if I feel this shot and I keep my hips forward, it's very tough for Tyler to get up, right? So when we sense that pressure, we're hitting him with the hips. We're not sprawling away from him here. So we'll do it one more time. So we're hitting with the hips. As Tyler gets up, you want to rush. Again, head over head principle, but leading with the hips. And one more time, just so you can see what I mean. If he's on his butt and he takes a shot, and I sprawl as if it's a takedown and he upgrades, you can see how he can get that underhook here. So one more time. Exact same position, but I come forward. Very, very exhausting. It's a different sprawl. And again, it's something that's unorthodox because they're having to shoot out of position and the shot's intentions isn't to take me down.